Good morning, guys. Let me know when you get some audio. I'm going to be setting the stream up here and just getting going in about 5 minutes, starting a little bit late this morning. So forgive me. If you're joining the stream, appreciate you joining. Hopefully you're a Ravens fan. If you're a Patriots fan, this will be a stream to look at some Ravens film from week 2 against the Dolphins, maybe a little bit week 1 against the Jets, and then take a look at a limited amount of Patriots film in terms of their offense, and then some more Patriots defense stuff. We'll have some commentary pieces in here. Let me know when you've got audio, please. I will have some plays running just to get the streaming software aligned. C Iron, what's up, man? First of all, thank you for always joining the stream and always posting up. Appreciate it. The Chief, thank you, man. How you doing? Athenian, what's up, man? I can't lie. I'm in a location today where there's probably 400 people using the internet right now, so it's possible that we have some issues this morning. Hopefully we don't repeat the issues we had 2 weeks ago. I'm going to cover something that's probably not going to be a fun topic. I'm going to get it out of the way at first. Easy E, what's up, man? Thank you for joining. Azana, hopefully I said your name right. If not, forgive me. Jay Will, good morning. I'm going to cover what the Ravens did against Sticks Blitz Zero first. I'm not going to lie. I wasn't super impressed. I feel like we just did a lot of the same concepts we did last year, for real. I didn't think we were very aggressive, but the Dolphins also used it very smart. Malik, thank you. Thank you. Okay, Azana, thank you. Appreciate that. Easy E, I'm not going to lie. The Patriots are not a super talented team, but, I also recognize, and maybe I overstate too sometimes, but I also recognize the impact that Belichick and his coaching staff can have at times. This year may be a little different than previous years, but certainly I would agree. I think we're more talented than them, and if we go up there and play well defensively and turn over free football offensively, then we definitely have a good chance to win a game. Maybe not a blowout, but we can beat that team, no doubt. I'm going to start the stream here in a moment and post up the intro picture. I usually take the first 2 or 3 minutes to try to get the audio aligned and make sure there's no problems. So thank you guys for joining. Athenian, what's up, man? Good morning. Thank you for joining up. I thought you were a late night person, Athenian. Charles Bowie, what's up, man? If we don't put our defenders in spaces where they succeed best. Yeah, I agree. We've got to put the guys in better. That's coaching. To me, that's what coaching is in a nutshell, is putting people in position to succeed. I'm going to post up the intro picture now. Just to be honest with you, this is one that my buddy made for me. I just wanted to show it off real quick for like 30 seconds. This is one of the graphics he made for me. Still got to do a little bit of work to get it, ready to overlay with a picture like the one I'm going to show you in a second. But I love the stuff that the guy's creating for me. I've been really blessed to meet this individual and have him help me improve the graphics of the channel. So thank you guys. Brent, thank you. Good morning, man. You're at work. Wow, appreciate that, man. All right, so let's get it going here. Brent, thank you, man. Thank you for always being positive and always joining the stream. And then for the super chat as well, I appreciate that. All right, so this stream, what we're going to discuss, I'm going to show some Ravens offense plays against the Dolphins. I'll show the first segment will be what the Ravens did against Sticks Blitz Zero, and I really didn't think it was that creative. I really didn't think it was all that effective. You guys can tell me what your perception is in the chat. That'll be the first segment, the first portion of plays that I'll do. And then beyond that, I'll show some plays of Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews when they were targeted against the Dolphins. The third segment of plays that we'll cover, I think, will be the Patriots defense, which I think is to be respected. And I'll talk about some of the coverages I expect them to play. And, some of it is conjecture for real. Some of it is, man, thank you, Brent. Appreciate it, man. Have a good morning. Stay safe. Will Hunter, I'll try to answer questions in a moment when I can. I'm trying to just tell you guys what I'm going to tell you. That's what you're supposed to do. Tell people what you're going to tell them, and then tell them, and then at the end summarize what you told them. So this is going to be Ravens offense stuff against the Dolphins, brief. Some Isaiah Likely, Andrew stuff, because I think if Isaiah Likely's healthy and we've got everybody else healthy, Duvernay, I think Isaiah Likely and Andrews are going to present some matchup problems for this Patriots team, in my opinion. I think the guys that are going to be put in position to guard them, their hybrid safety linebacker guys, are going to have problems with Mark Andrews. Yeah, hit the like button, please. Thank you, SL. I really appreciate that. Then I'll show some Patriots defense stuff and then some Patriots offense. So we're looking at about an hour, maybe 50 minutes, because I'm getting started late. So forgive me for that. So I'm going to jump right into it. And if I'm not responding to questions, it's not intentional necessarily. I'm just trying to get to as much of the film as possible. So the Dolphins are in sticks Blitz Zero. One thing that they did that I thought was extremely brilliant was they kind of waited to use it until the third quarter. You guys can correct me with your memory. I felt like they waited to use this till the third quarter, and I felt like we had the same thing here that we had last year, which is Rashad Bateman could beat this guy one-on-one. Now Xavier Howard did almost pick one off. Don't get me wrong. Later in the game, but I didn't like our plan. Like last year, Bateman beat him on a slant. He beat him on a stop. He beat him on an out and up. This year, I didn't think we attacked it downfield. Like, I don't care if this is Xavier Howard. We already beat him once. Like, I want to see us attack vertically when they do this, for real. You're going to say, well, that's off coverage, coach. No, it's not. It's off coverage where he's staring at the quarterback. So, like, if Rashad takes off vertically, this guy's got a flat-footed read. Watch his technique or lack thereof. Well, I guess actually there he's backpedaling a little bit, but generally it's a flat-footed read for them, and they're not really showing a whole lot of technique. In that case right there, he did get off a little bit. He did have a slow pedal. But you can see no respect, same thing. We see them in the playoffs, they're going to do the same thing because we didn't show a plan. I didn't think we really did anything to attack it. Now, they played man-free when we beat them deep, so that's a different coverage, okay? So here we are again. This is third quarter. Now, I love this call. Love this call. Is run against it. This is the same thing the Jets did last year, was run against this front, because all you have to do is block everybody down and then isolate the edge player. So we're isolating this guy right here, and we're running QB power read. Lamar's either going to give it or keep it. He gives it. I think I know Ingram scored a touchdown in their week 1 win against the Patriots, don't get me wrong, but I feel like Ingram's kind of going to be an odd man out there, and I like Ingram. I like him as a player. I just feel like their paradigm is like these young, super fast guys, and I'm just not sure Ingram fits that mold, but he's playing well so far. So when I say block everybody down, what I mean is, like, look at this defender, and look at the angles that we have here. Look at these angles, all right? Let me switch hopefully this is making sense to you guys. So, like, it's quite easy to block this down. I shouldn't say easy. It's simple. You have angles, and then isolate this guy right here. Isolate him as the read man. Now, I think actually we're pulling Zeitler. So we're pulling out of here. So down, and then Moses would probably be trying to scoop this guy on the backside. Yeah, so we've isolated Ingram. And yeah, I know what everybody's seeing in the still, like you see a lot of yards here. Just so you understand the concept, not making excuses for Justice Hill, but when you run the power read, okay, here's the concept. Lamar's track, if he keeps it, you can see his foot's in the ground, is to follow Zeitler. There's Zeitler's helmet. So Lamar's track is to put his foot in the ground and run at something like this angle, okay? So what we're saying is, like, if Ingram went upfield like that, then Lamar would keep it, and this would be a touchdown, period, all right? Lamar probably should not keep this football. I think this is the right read. So the way the option works is if Lamar's track is this, and that line's not perfectly drawn, then Justice Hill's track has got to be complementary to that, all right? Justice Hill is taught to run this track in a way that this defender can't defend both. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm not making excuses for this, right? here, where you would like to see him cut it upfield. Yeah, we all would. It's a still shot, but like it's a little bit simplistic and immature of some of the people that post up like a little still shot and want to criticize a guy who's fought back from an injury the way he has and is now contributing to our football team. Yes, maybe he should have cut it up there, but I'm just telling you, the design of the play is his angle has to be complementary to Lamar's initially with the initial track, somewhere up to like here, so that this defender, Ingram, is not capable of hedging down to Lamar, forcing a give read, and then, coming out here and making the tackle. But Justice Hill is not that slow. So, yeah, we would love to see him cut it up there. We would also like to see him do what his coaches coach him to do, But in any case, I digress for a minute there. It's not a big deal to me. All right, it's another sticks Blitz Zero, and you can see you got the 4 DBs all looking at the quarterback, same as last year. And I just don't think these plays are designed to succeed, I guess, but they're just not taking into account like the Dolphins' pursuit. And you can say, oh, they're fast. That's not what it's about. Look at these guys. Eyes on the quarterback, all right? Eyes on the quarterback, eyes on the quarterback, eyes on the quarterback. When Lamar goes to pull the pin on the grenade and throw this ball, it doesn't matter how quick he throws it. Look what you've got. You've got a force player, a guy who could be force. You got an alley player. You got an inside-out runner, and you got an inside-out runner. It's 4-on-3 in their favor. This is not the way to attack this. I know I sound like a jerk, and forgive me for that, but this here is not the way to attack this coverage. It's here. Beat them, kill them. It's not a sound defense. I'm sorry. I just don't think that's the way to attack that. Is Isaiah Likely a good guy for yards after the catch? Absolutely. He's a talent. I'm glad we got him to football. I think we need to get the football to these guys downfield against this coverage. We're going to see this coverage again. I'm not sure that we see it this week, though. You guys let me know what you think. I don't know that the Patriots have the personnel to play this coverage because I don't see them using it a whole lot. You guys let me know what you think. Once again, and even watch this safety. Watch what these guys do when Likely goes in motion. They basically shift out of this coverage and go to a zone mentality, which it kind of is a zone mentality anyway. Is what I'm saying making sense, or do I just sound like I'm ranting? Look, you got guys dropping out. I mean, it's their favor. It's 4-on-3 in their favor. Tell me what you think. If I'm not going to argue with people if they have a different opinion of me. I just don't feel like this is the most effective way. Excuse me. I don't feel like this is the most effective way to attack this. Whether Lamar's getting the ball out a little bit quicker, which I think he could or not, I just don't think that is going to be the way to attack this coverage and beat it. Charles Bowie, agree. Great point. Easy E, totally. And Easy, I think you're referring to, I'm going to let this run while I talk. Easy says, I think the most yards we've gotten out of that concept is 10 yards. And I think the play you're referring to is Marquise Brown on a 2nd and 10 last year in Miami. And Marquise Brown kind of had to break one tackle and slip between two guys in order to make that happen. So it's not like, you draw it up and you think, oh, this screen's going to work. No, it's not. It's just not working. How many screens have we ran against them in 2 years? It just doesn't work. Charles Bowie said, I think Belichick goes to the formula you laid out in previous videos. Absolutely. Yeah, like quarters, split field coverages, off coverages, make us execute. If you're looking at our offense right now, we're not an offense that hits a bunch of singles and doubles. We're home run hitters, right? I mean, we've got guys that can make big plays. Even Isaiah Likely, if you're a defensive coach and you're looking at our personnel, this is Isaiah Likely is a guy who can hit home runs. I do like this play for real, even though it's running with Lamar, and I'm not. It's the problem with me is the situation. Now, y'all can't see my data that's up here. I can see it on my source screen, but you can't see it on your screen. It's 3rd and 3. Okay. To me, if we're gonna do this, don't laugh, or maybe you disagree. Do this on 1st and 10. Run this on 1st and 10. Because again, we've got angles. Take people down, back block, pull, kick this guy out. I would rather do that in a situation where it's not predictable. You guys can tell me what your perception is. Where we have had our biggest success this year offensively, to me, it seems like, has been doing atypical things. So, like throwing on 1st and 10, throwing early in a series. And I don't mean a possession. I call a possession, the entirety of the fourth possession. A series I refer to as, a new set of downs. It seems like to me we're making our big play. This is a man free with a spy. I think this will be something that you'll see from Bill Belichick. I'm just not sure who his spy is. And when we get into the defensive film here in about 15 minutes or so for the Patriots, by the way, here's the spy. You got man down here on Bateman. I'm going to insert an ad here in a moment, folks. I've had a lot of rewatches of the live stream, meaning people that don't join right now and they watch the stream later on. So I do like to insert some ads. I think this is what you're going to get more out of the Patriots is man with a spy. But even that, Lamar has hurt the Patriots and other teams before in man. Like even if you have a spy, just making that guy miss and then taking off with all these backs turned. These two safeties appear to be reading Andrews. One of them matched up with Andrews. The other one did not. Easy E, yes. I believe we used that word last year a lot, is the situational awareness is our weakness as a staff. And, like everybody talks about, who's your linebackers coach? Who's your receivers coach? Sometimes a staff needs just a situational person, a person to just observe the situation and help. So this safety and this safety are just reading Andrews, and this guy's just going to release Andrews to the backside safety. I think this is something conceptually that you might see the Patriots do, so that then the front side safety can help out. This is the same route that Demarcus Robinson scored against the earlier in the game. This is the same route he scored earlier in the game. He's going to bring this route out and then try to bring it back in. And this safety, watch the safety pass off Andrews to the backside safety. And once he passes off Andrews, then he takes over that in-breaking route by Robinson. Look, you can see Robinson has beaten the primary defender, but this safety smartly, let Andrews go, and now he's taking over the in-breaking route. Look, you can even see him point. Watch this guy point pre-snap. He's communicating it. They're communicating the route. So, Danny, yeah, Lamar looks amazing. I'm not this live stream. I'm not really going to comment on how well Lamar is playing. I think it's accepted that he's playing incredible, and that's what we're going to get if we put people in the right place. So I'm not going to waste you guys' time with saying, "Oh, look how amazing Lamar is." Like, so Danny, that's when I'm not commenting on Lamar. That's strategic in terms of this situation for me, because I just don't think, I don't think there's anybody who can argue against that. All right, man free, a typical man free, and this is the danger. Even if you've got a spy, is you get routes that are generally, all going to this side and Ricard going to this side. There is one route going in the opposite of that flow. The danger of this is like a 19-yard scramble by Lamar. The danger for people, look at Oliver, bring this route down here, brings this defender. We got a defender here, the defender in motion on Ricard, guy here. It's just numbers. It's just really just numbers. And all Lamar's got to do is find a lane. Damn near could have been a touchdown. That's the fear of playing man free. If your spy isn't super quick and super aware, all it takes is one seam, and it could be over. So to Charles's point earlier, back on Charles's point, Charles said he thinks you'll see more stuff like the Vikings, the Bengals played with their more soft split field coverages with two high safeties. Deuce, you said you hate the play call. Which one? The quarterback power out of empty? All right, man free. This is not Blitz Zero. This is a 3rd and 7. And I think that even though they were aggressive and they got punished for being aggressive, you guys tell me what your perception is. I feel like we punished the Dolphins defense with big plays because they were so super aggressive. No, easy. You're absolutely right. Bateman needs more targets, no doubt. And I don't think that the Patriots have that shutdown corner that I'm aware of that they have previously had. Jackson, even though he made a lot of interceptions, was not a shutdown corner from the standpoint of you just weren't going to make catches on him. You could get catches on him. He was just going to make big plays, so it was in your best interest offensively to not mess with him. This man free, okay, and it looks like, again, you have a spy. So when you watch the game tomorrow, if you see the Patriots line up in that sticks Blitz Zero, then you kind of know what's coming. The Patriots are just taking that playbook. And look, Brian Flores is a Bill Belichick guy, okay? So Flores, is not with Miami this year. He's with the Steelers. But him and the defensive coordinator last year for the Dolphins, I'm sure, were a big part of creating that. So it's quite possible that Belichick has spoken to Flores in the offseason. Hey, what were you guys reading? Why were you doing this, et cetera? Well, Belichick knows why he was doing it. But I'm just not sure that Belichick is going to go that route. He generally is going to do things that are sound, and I still say to this day that stick split zero coverage is not sound, even though it certainly works against us. Man free, there's your spy. I think this is probably what you're going to see out of Belichick. On third downs, that is. All right, let me get, I'm going to have to put a overlay up for a second where I load up this next set of plays. I just don't feel like you guys need to see me load up the plays. All right, if you haven't ever considered joining my Discord or becoming a channel supporter, please consider it, or at least look into it if you want to, support me. It's $2 a month or $5 a month. It's $2 a month through YouTube, $5 a month through Patreon. All right, let's look at these short yardage plays, and this is not going to be fun. Easy E said Andrew's ISO. I agree. Ed Master, no, you must have joined the stream after I covered it. No, I did not like the screens to Likely, even though I think Likely is a really good guy after the catch. He's really effective. I did not like those at all, for real. I didn't think they were effective. Did you think they were effective? Let's do it that way. It would be great if we established the run, Yon or Yone, but I'm not sure we're capable right now, unless we're going to go to the option. This is F counter. So F counter, we're pulling the guard and the tight end. And I just don't know why at some okay, let me restart that. I think at some point we're going to line up in this formation, and we're going to I'm not sure why we don't have an auto check. Like, let's just run this thing over here with Lamar, for real. I mean, we're trying to get in the end zone. Look at the alignment of these guys. This looks like man here. Man. Someone is manned on this tight end, and then someone is probably manned on the back. Yeah, they got 3 second-level defenders, so they certainly could stop the play. Me personally, I want to try to reach, pull him, lead, and then go with Lamar. I mean, I am the guy who says I don't think we should be running with Lamar a ton, for real, but we got to try to score. Now, having said that, as we go through these plays, I think it's been established. Athenian, no, I agree with you. Our tight ends are not blocking well. Look at this guy, Phil. Good God. Look at this guy. Look at this guy right here, 52. Watch this, Phil. Phil means come downhill and fill the correct gap. Watch him blow up. Whoa. That's teaching tape right there. Wow. Wow. So let me make a large, what I think is a large observation here. Yeah, we're not getting a whole lot of push, no doubt. But once we get to the point where it's 4th and goal here in a moment, and it's been displayed and shown that we can't push this team around in these situations, I mean, how many times do you go for it and not get it? I thought Davis was going to get in here. Looks like to me we got some good push with Zeitler. Maybe it's Linderbaum or Powers. I'm not sure. There looks like a little seam in here. Yeah, Zeitler, I think this is Linderbaum's helmet right here. It looks like those guys have created a little bit of a seam, but watch the inside linebackers fill. Good God. Yeah, I don't think Oliver can block. I just don't think he's a good blocker, like, period. Look at these two fill. This is the way you're supposed to play it. And you can see, hopefully you guys can see that at the bottom of the screen. I know you got a frame you're dealing with. Look at their depth. So when they're at this depth, that tells you they're just going to they're either trying to hit it downhill, and then give themselves the option to also scrape outside if it ends up being an outside run. But when we're in this formation, I mean, like, come on, everybody knows what's coming. Well, this ain't Davis's issue though. This don't have anything to do with Davis. This has to do with our line not being able to physically dominate them because they're pretty damn good up front. Exactly, Daniel. I would like to see us throw on first down. Throw on first down because if you throw on first down, you can throw the ball away. You still got 3 more downs if you're going to go for it on fourth down. I guess at this point, we as fans need to just accept it. Hey, we're going for it on fourth down, period. Period. We're going to go for it on fourth down. It just seems frustrating to recognize that. Again, you've got a good feel by this inside linebacker. I don't know who this is. Watch this guy track Lamar. Stay on the backside hip. There's his helmet here looking at Lamar. Boom. And he was the guy, along with this D tackle that helped us knock it in. And me personally, I don't know how they overturned this. I don't feel like the video evidence is conclusive. Me personally, if you said, "Hey coach, do you think he got in?" I would say no. But the initial ruling is that he got in. So I feel like you need conclusive evidence, and the only conclusive evidence, if you ask me, would be an angle from the side. Not the angle we're looking at now. So I just don't know how you have watched us have 4 turns at this, from inside the 1, or I guess inside the 4, and be unable to get it in, and then you make this call. I agree, easy, run some option stuff, but I wouldn't want to run option on fourth down. I would want it to be on like first or second or third. I think that's probably what you're saying too. I agree with you, Deuce. Lamar is not Cam Newton. The QB power, QB power is more of for Lamar is more of a space concept, midfield or something like that. I think it's probably what you're saying too, where there's a little bit more space. I mean, the space is constricted here because you got 6 D linemen all lined up in 4-point stances. My overall point is we had the first run to Drake. I have this pause right now, by the way. We had the first run to Drake stuffed. We got a penalty on them though. Then we had 2 runs by Davis, both stuffed. Then we had the third down run by Lamar, QB power, and we didn't get in apparently. We got to take our medicine. And when I think that, our defense, having issues in the second half, our offense not being able to hit singles and doubles, it was an issue. But to me, you leave points on the field that continues to come back to haunt us. I don't know that it has benefited us in the long run going for it on these fourth down situations. If you guys can remember one and refresh my memory, let me know. And even though, this works, this is still one of those things that I feel like I'm shocked that these things continue to work in the NFL. It's Mark Andrews. Easy touchdown, right? All right, let's go back to the previous plays. There's Andrews over there, so I'm wrong. I was getting ready to say Andrews wasn't on at all, but there he is. Well, at least we do have him on the field, so clearly I was wrong there. So I'm happy to be wrong and that we're not as predictable as I thought because I did not think Andrews was on the field, but he clearly is here. So that's a good thing. It's a good thing that we have him on the field on run plays and we have him on the field on pass plays. It's a bad thing that we waited too damn long to try to get him the football. All 3 of them were open, you're right. I don't know that we're going to get any better on goal line situations for real in these personnel packages and these personnel alignments. I just don't think we are. I'm going to put a screen overlay up real quick and switch to a different set of plays, guys. Give me 1 second. All right. Going to transition here a little bit in terms of the focus of the stream. And we're going to look at plays where Andrews or Likely are targeted. And first of all, what is Likely's status? Do you guys know? I know he was limited for a couple of days, practice-wise. It's incomplete, even though it's incomplete, I like the concept. Looks like snag out into the flats and then over. So this is really just, we call it flood in, but it doesn't matter. This snag concept is the part that I really like because it should hold a defender and then let Andrews get over the top. So it's very similar to the way we attack cover three. I feel like Greg Roman and our offensive staff have a pretty good idea of how to attack man. They have a pretty good idea of how to attack cover three. I'm not so sure that we have a great idea on how to attack some of these too high coverages that are split field in nature, like the Bengals are going to play, and maybe even the Patriots this week. Lamar, if briefly, I'll talk about Lamar just so you guys understand what he's doing. So on the snap, he's looked over here, all right, and what he's confirming, and I'm going to change the screen here in a moment. What he's confirmed, Stacey Van Diver, what's up, man? I hope you're having a good morning. What Lamar is confirming right here. Watch his helmet. Look, you see his helmet? He's confirming that this corner hasn't dropped off in zone. He's confirming that the corner is going to stay with the snag, and so then he knows he's got this over. So, I mean, yeah, is it simplistic? Yes, it's a simplistic read, but if you're playing a lot of man free, then this is how we're going to attack you. So again, look, that he's looking off screen to that corner that's guarding Duvernay because he knows now I got Andrews coming back. That ball's got to be caught. The sneak. Blackula, first of all, cool name. Yeah, you got to start going play action on first down, no doubt, because then you loosen them up a little bit. I think that's what you're saying. Totally agree. Totally agree. Desmond, what's up, man? Thank you for joining. Hey, if you guys are in here, please like the stream. It's 56 viewers and only 29 likes. So either you don't like the stream or, I don't know, maybe you're listening and driving. If you're driving, don't like it because, don't put yourself in danger. Cool play. Creative, obviously, it took us a year or two to use this because other people were using it a lot. And then the Dolphins returned the favor on the next possession. I think you got man free. They're giving away their coverage. Obviously, you got man here, man, and man. The Dolphins, you could tell they were in man free pre-snap because you only had one inside linebacker, okay? What they did was they took the second inside linebacker and put him manned up on Ricard because they feel like personnel-wise he can guard him no problem. I actually really like this play, even though it doesn't, get us much because what are we doing a little bit more of? We're stretching the defense horizontally a little more. I feel like this ball should be out a split second sooner, but we've got the mesh with the back. So you got the back that's got to clear Lamar. So he can't just throw it. The running back's going to be in the way. I wish the ball was there like a split second earlier. This corner does a good job recovering. Still a 4-yard gain. Looked like it was first and 15 to me. I do like the play, though. Let me know what you guys think. Charles Bowie, so you're saying Likely was a full participant yesterday? Wonderful. Deuce, you mean, going back to something Deuce said, you mean does Lamar convert it even if we don't fumble the snap? No, it didn't look like it to me. Looks like another example of man. I think you got an interference call on them, but again, you can tell it's man because, and I think this is what you're going to see from certain teams when Ricard's on the field. Someone earlier up in the chat said less Ricard. I mean, there is something to be said for that. This is a 2nd and 6. Ricard's on the field, so they're playing man on him with a linebacker and very similar route. Okay, so it was interference on Duvernay. So we're running kind of like this crosser stuff with Andrews. And it looks like this guy interferes with Duvernay. I don't know what you guys think, man. I think Duvernay's playing great this year, man. Yeah, clearly interference. And this is one, that maybe from the end zone angle you'll see. If Lamar had put it out there maybe a little further, it's possible that Andrews could run onto it and make a little bit more of a play. A lot of contact. I suspect if this is what we get from the Patriots, they're going to play pretty physical too. So you got the ball's thrown, on this backside hip. Yeah, I guess we'd like for it to be thrown a little bit further out in front. Being picky about Lamar, kind of tough to do. Did you guys see that supposedly his rating from PFF was really low? How did they come about that? What's the manner in which they determined that he was it 68 or 66? On a 100-point scale, I think. I don't really know enough about PFF's rating scales because I intentionally don't pay attention to it because, like, I'd love to be in a room with one of them and talk football and hear how they don't know what they're saying. This is zone. I just don't know how you rate Lamar's rating a 66 or a 68 from this game. Lamar was limited the first day of practice, right? You don't mean he was limited yesterday, Charles, right? Tola, good morning. Thank you for being a supporter, man. Desmond, I agree. Using condensed formations to attack man free, I agree. This is zone. A big hit by this backside safety. Do you guys think Boyle is going to play? I find it interesting that Boyle is not playing and Oliver is. Clay, what's up, man? Yeah, they're not even covering Ricard. This is a concept the Ravens have used since 2020, though. 3 tight ends to one side, motioning one of them over. I showed this in a video this past week. I showed we already showed that one. I showed Lamar throwing a touchdown against Washington to Andrews. It's a cool concept, man. I don't know if you guys have seen this. I love the way we run it. We got a wheel by Likely, a little skinny post there by the number 1. Likely running this wheel, and then I think Andrews is running an out. Only thing I'm not sure of is I don't like the motion to that side. I guess we're trying to bait one of the defenders, in this case the linebacker, into thinking that the conflict he's in is here, and then Andrews, so he thinks that's the conflict he's in on a 2nd and 4. So I guess in his brain he's thinking, all right, I'm not going to take the bait here because I know they're trying to get the ball to Andrews. But it's kind of like obfuscation on our part. Really, this is not the conflict he's being put in. The conflict he's being put in, and that's a poor route there I just drew for Likely. It wasn't that horizontal, I don't think, or that lateral. So that's the conflict he's being put in. That's the deeper part of it. And that corner kind of goes with the skinny post a little bit right here. Opens up Likely. So cool concept. I wonder how often we're going to see this. PFF is subjective. I would agree, Gary. I would agree. It doesn't seem to really reflect reality and how well a person is executing the concepts they're asked to execute. Because, we can all, Ravens fans, anyone say, I think the Ravens should be doing this. But that's not how you grade people. You grade people on, are they executing the concepts they're asked to execute? And Lamar certainly is. Stacey, who are you talking about when you say he has to? We have to play our very best. Yeah, Jones. First of all, Jones, what's up, man? Good morning. I wonder what's going on with Boyle. How come we haven't seen him when he apparently is participating in practice every day, right? I just don't know what Oliver brings to the table. Okay. Yeah. Got you, Stacey. Got you. CBG, what's up, man? Good morning. I'm going to move to some Patriots film here in a moment. I'm an easy E. No, I agree. I think we need to get the ball to Bateman more. If we're not going to Bateman because who's guarding him, okay, all right, fine. Maybe we respect the guy that's guarding him so much that we're not gonna take chances. Okay, fine. I'll accept that for the purposes of this statement. Here's my only problem. Let's get him off the line then. Let's get him on the move. Get him, put somebody else on the line, here, and then motion Bateman so that he's got a little bit more space created off the snap. Having said that, I think Bateman can win this matchup anyway. I'm not scared. I want to find out how good he is, and I think we have already. Yeah, Leonard. No, for real. The Browns are a tough out. Or a tough out. All right, I'm going to load up some other film here of the Patriots. If you guys have something that you'd like to see Ravens-wise, you can certainly let me know. Give me 1 second. I just use that as a placeholder. opportunity for me to promote the Discord and Patreon that I have, and then also, load up some other film. All right, so Patriots. Let's go Patriots defense. Is that all right with you guys? I have, I think, 3 possessions here. I'm not going to go over all 3 of them. Yeah, I have 3 possessions here. I'm not going to go over all 3 of them. Just some general observations. I do not have the coverages labeled for these. I wish I had that kind of time on my hands. The Patriots use at least 2 guys to try to be multiple from what I guess would be their base. So I think this is Bentley, and he plays a little bit of inside linebacker, and then sometimes they walk him up on the line. You can see, so they've made this look like a 3-4. So I would say that he's a hybrid inside linebacker, outside linebacker. All right. Yeah, Judon is easy to spot. That's right. To me, this is a safety here. All right. And then Phillips is like a little bit of everything. Safety, strong safety, inside linebacker. I don't know what they have him listed as for real. I don't go look at those things. But he plays a little bit of everywhere. And to me, he's going to be a very interesting player in this matchup. Because I think if he's asked to guard our tight ends, Likely and Andrews, I think that's to our advantage. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the guy. I think he's a good player, but I just don't think that he's going to be able to cover Likely and Andrews. They're too big. All right, so same guy that I pointed out, there's Bentley. Last play he was down here as an edge guy, creating that 3-4 look. Now he's playing inside linebacker, which I think is his actual natural position. It's a cover 3. So again, they've got Bentley, 21. He's that hybrid linebacker, safety, whatever. Now he's rolled down now outside of Judon, whereas on this last play, you can see he's lined up inside of Judon like he's manned on that tight end. So they're going to try to be multiple because they're going to ask certain guys to execute multiple techniques. Makes sense. It's just their nickel package really is all it is. And then they're playing some cover 3. The Dolphins are trying to attack out into the flats with this fullback going in motion, which we know we're going to do with Ricard a lot. I'm just not sure we get a real return on throwing the ball out in the flats to our fullback. I would like to see more 12 personnel. Somebody earlier, maybe Desmond said it, 12 personnel is our best grouping. I agree. Totally agree. I think people are going to treat us differently defensively depending on whether Ricard is on the field or not. And I suspect that sometimes we are switching personnel groups to find out how teams are going to treat us. All right, so this is an interesting group. This is the group that tore us up. This is 11 personnel. So you got 1 running back for the Dolphins, and then Gesicki, the tight end. It seems like Gesicki's not getting as much run in their under center personnel groupings. So the Patriots are responding with their nickel, but I believe 21 is now here, playing inside linebacker. I could be wrong. Kyle Duggar. Gotcha. No, that was not 21. That was an actual inside linebacker. You get the end zone angle. I don't see 21 on the field here. You guys see 21 on the field? I don't think this is him up here, but I could be wrong. And against this tight end, they've got an actual DB who's rolled up. I'm not sure who that is. Is that Duggar? 32. I'm not pretending to know all their personnel yet, to be honest with you. I watched maybe 30 minutes of their film so far. This is me watching the film with you right now. Like the video, guys, if you enjoy the content, if you enjoy my streams on Saturday mornings, please. The rewatches are really helping me out with views and generating revenue. So please like it to help the video get pushed out to bigger audiences. Just like any Belichick team, they're going to be tough. I'm not sure if I see 21 on the field again either. This is 11 personnel, but you've got that may be 81 up there for the Dolphins. So again, Gesicki is like their tight end that they use in 11 personnel when they want to run the ball. They ran the same play against us, I think, right? Okay, so the fullback's here, tight end's here. That's the tailback. Yeah, they ran the same concept against us. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate it. Oh man, I love how Belichick handles the press. It reminds me of Lamar, except Lamar is a lot more gracious and kind and has a smile on his face. Belichick is more. I mean, he's a genius the way he does it. Don't get me wrong, but it just Lamar and Belichick remind me of they handle things the same way with the media because they really don't say much. There's 21 right there. I'm always looking for where he is because I feel like he's a playmaker for them. I don't know. Do you guys think we'll be able to get the running game going against them? Yes, Desmond, they do. I feel like they show bear front often, and they roll that. They roll one of the safeties down to the weak side. Okay, so that's 23. That's Duggar. It's that toss play where they really got into Judon. I covered this in a video previewing the Dolphins, and we run this play. I don't know if you guys saw. We run this play. We ran it 3 times against the Dolphins. And I don't know if you paid attention to it or if you follow me on Twitter, but when we run it, Lamar is coming up to the line, and the Lamar is, I think they've called the play, but Lamar's picking the direction. And I'll try to link the video later on. Jones, it doesn't sound like Dobbins is going to play, and I'm not sure why. I mean, I guess, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is there. Like why Dobbins isn't playing. It doesn't look like anything's wrong when you see drills of him, you know. But again, I only touched on it, but I think Lamar, you know, when they talk about him calling a good game, executing the things, I think they are asking him to do a little bit more up at the line. I still don't think that he's getting to be able to come up and audible to different plays that often. Short yardage stuff, 22 personnel, looks like 2 tight ends, fullback, tailback. Good play action. Fullback out into flats. Yeah, I agree. The residual leftover from Ronnie Stanley coming back too soon is big. So it looks like they're targeting going at this inside linebacker with the fullback faking the ISO block and then running what essentially is a wheel, I guess. Bentley picks it up. If Bentley doesn't pick that up, I mean, that kid's wide open. So very aware play by this guy. He's the inside linebacker on the other side. I mean, Boyle played last year, though, didn't he? I know he didn't look good when he did play, but it just doesn't make sense to me why he's not getting on the field. So this is Duggar, and you guys are saying he's questionable. This is a great pickup. Look at this play. Look at this cover. I mean, yeah, it's open, but he forced the quarterback to have to throw it over him. That's a great play. That's not. I thought that was a good play on first watch. That is a fantastic play. I don't know that we have a linebacker that makes this play. Donald, good morning, man. Yeah, Jones, totally agree. Knees are weird. You ain't lying. I know that myself. I tore a ligament one time and never was the same running wise. I was a left leg jumper and tore ligaments in the left knee, so once the ligament was torn, basketball was out. Done. I mean, I think if Queen would turn and run easy in that situation, he has the speed to recover and go, but he just always seems to be so focused on the quarterback. I know we're losing some momentum here. All right, so they're giving away their coverage again, just like the Dolphins do. You know, maybe we'll see this. So when you watch the game, you know, check this out. You've got even before this motion man goes, you know, and the DB goes with him. So clearly, you know, it's man. But you've got this somewhat hybrid bear look, even though it's not a bear front. And when you get the end zone angle, I'll explain it to you. We actually played this technique in high school. A little different when you got high school kids. They're not as athletic as NFL guys. Okay, so it's 21. I thought so. So what you've got is you got 21 and 48 both reading the tight end. Let's say 20. The tight end was to release inside like this. Then 21 would go cover him, and 48 would rush. Now 48 and 50 might also, you know, be banjo reading this running back. If the running back tries to cross face, 48 might peel with him. That's one of the foundational things of a Belichick defense is the outside linebackers don't let a back cross their face. But this could give away the coverage for us as fans watching the game tomorrow. If they've got Phillips in the tight end's face like this and an outside linebacker lined up outside of him, the opposite of this could be the tight end goes to block 48. Well, then now Phillips becomes the C gap player. This is the C gap. That's the B gap. That's the A gap. That's a Bear philosophy or technique, but they're not in the Bear front. Even though they got a 3 here, they got dual 3s. This looks like the old school split 40. We played that at the high school I went to. So you can see 21 sits and waits and then looks. Now he's just looking for something coming back. So that would just let you know as a fan watching the game what coverage we're probably getting. Oh, Jeff, he doesn't just pull the flea flicker. They manipulate our man-to-man incredibly well. I have a video coming out about that tonight, about how well they manipulated our man-to-man defense the last time we saw them, last time we played them, which was up in New England. One of the few times that I've seen 21 lined up at actual like high safety, unless I'm missing some reps. There's 21. I'm always tracking where he is because I feel like they're sliding him down in the box sometimes, but they're sliding Duggar down in the box too. So I think they're playing light personnel like a lot of people are. Kat, first of all, what's up, man? Did you get? I sent you an invite. Did you get into the Discord? And I agree with you that some of our younger guys don't look comfortable, and as you know, especially some of the play action situations, they're not reacting in a way that is classical for their technique. 21 with an amazing play to the field. I'm gonna load up another possession and do another possession. Again, it's not like I've watched a ton of these from a Patriots perspective. I watched this prior to the Miami game. You get the end zone angle of this. You can see how they shut down this toss this time. Kat, you did? All right. I wasn't sure. So it's going to be the same play, except for it's going to be a receiver who motions from the outside, and they're going to try to combo or double team this edge player. The 21's just going to slide into the vacant space. See here, easy play, him getting in the backfield. We run this play, so it'd be interesting to me when we do run this play. We got to run the boot against Belichick. We got to run the boot against Belichick. We did that in 2019 at home. And when Lamar booted, we gave them problems. I mean, we gave them problems with everything, obviously. 91 looks like a good player to me. Right here. Obviously, Judon can get pressure. Yeah, if it's raining, that's to their benefit. I think this team can play. I don't think they're as bad as they kind of remind me of the Jets from the standpoint of, Ravens fans. We all kind of think, oh, we should just win this game, and I think that they're better than a lot of us give them credit for. All right, I inserted an ad. I don't know if it shows you guys the ads. I don't have a ton more time, to be honest with you. Probably 10 minutes. That's wise. Okay, I thought that was wise, Jones. Appreciate it. All right, so then we'll look at some Patriots offense stuff. And I know that a lot of people have, again, a kind of a poor, lower view of Mac Jones, which is crazy, man. I mean, like, correct me if I'm wrong. Before after his rookie year, weren't there people that were like just glowing about Mac Jones and just like he was the greatest thing in the world? Yeah, Barrymore, I know him, actually. I know he's good. Weren't there people that were just glowingly talking about Mac Jones like he was the greatest thing in the world? And now it's, kind of flipped. I just feel like people's evaluations of quarterbacks is so schizophrenic. I need to pick a better word than schizophrenic. But it just seems like people are so judgy about quarterbacks and they go one way or the other. This is 56. I forget his name. It's not Fitzgerald. I always want to say Highsmith on the blitz. So you got, it's a poor throw. It's cover 2. Great job by Fitzpatrick on the interception. Also, a pretty damn good job by Robert Spillane. Spillane is on the inside, playing the essentially middle third of the cover 2, Tampa 2. So he's on the inside shoulder of this receiver. I don't think I show you the end zone angle here. And so kind of influencing Mac Jones to throw it on the downside, and Fitzpatrick is able to play it. Simultaneous to that, Highsmith destroys Mac Jones. So, yeah, I think this throw was probably off by like a yard or two. I don't think it was as poorly thrown as others made it sound. Other people made it sound like Other people made it sound like, if this ball is thrown here, it's a completed pass and not paying attention. You have a linebacker who's been turning and running. So I think it's a great job in coverage of the Steelers. A great job by Fitzpatrick. An equally great job by Spillane of forcing the quarterback to throw it, in a location that he doesn't want to throw it to. All right, a little bit of Patriots offense against the Steelers. Steelers are clearly a different thing without T.J. Watt on the field, but they're still playing smart. Still bringing pressure. I'm not sure that this necessarily correlates for us. We bring these pressures. It doesn't seem like we get through here this clean. I don't know. I don't know why that is. Spillane is just walking up at it. I mean, I think Spillane's a better player than people give him credit for, but having said that, we walk up and we don't get these free run-throughs. I just don't know why that is. You guys have that feeling? It's like we do this and nothing works. Hamilton, a redemption game. Yeah, I can feel that coming too. I can feel that. It's not like their receiver core is, the greatest thing in the world. They got some talent, but it's not like their receiver core is amazing. Looks like you got to cover 3 here, but the free safety's alignment is a little different. Steelers play so many coverages. Yeah, agreed, Jones, agreed. That would be a better word. Stacy would be bipolar. That's a pretty damn good play, isn't it? I don't know. I tend to like the quarterbacks and root for them that get that kind of rap just because that's what they did to Lamar Jackson. And I'm old enough to remember, too, that they said the same things about Steve Young. They said the same things about Randall Cunningham. They said the same things about Vince Young, who didn't work out over the long run, but he won a lot of games when he was a starter. It's unfortunate to me that quarterbacks are judged that way and looked at as you got to be a finished product by the time you're 24, otherwise you're a bust. Man, this looks like it should be a sack, doesn't it? He gets a hold, so I think this one comes back. Still a great play by Mac Jones and completion. Long yardage situation. That's a pretty good throw, isn't it? You got this Z under play, so they're running the under to try to bait a second level player into checking up on it. I think that's a pretty good throw, even though he is wide open, obviously. Oh yeah, that's right, Michael Vick. How did I forget him? Jones, that's a good way to put it. Feels like we have a lot of things that are just a little bit off. The screen's going to mess up for a second, guys. Sorry. Feels like we have a lot of things that are just a little bit off. So maybe visiting New England and Bill Belichick is not a good idea. Look, there's another way to look at this. This could be a must-win game for us. I mean, the Bills are going to be a favorite, period, in Baltimore. They are. Unless we were to go up there and just walk the dog on the Patriots. Young Cherokee, what's up? The Bills are going to be a favorite in Week 4. I do believe the Bengals are going to get rolling again. They're just too talented not to. So, is this a must-win game? It's definitely one that we want to win, right? Are you more threatened by the Patriots' passing game, or are you more threatened by their run game? Stacy agreed. Now it's like they're in such a rush to anoint these guys. I mean, Joe Burrow's another one. Like, this year they're criticizing Joe Burrow, focusing on him. Whatever he did with his social media, who cares, man? Why do I care what another man does with his social media? And last year, it was like he was the greatest thing in the world at the end of the season. It's just the media is so short-sighted. Yeah, if you lose this, you're staring 1-3 in the face. These routes do concern me, for real, guys. These little underneath drags and then something, developing over the top. So this route came from that side. This route came from that side. And then the guy that gets the ball is the X receiver. These kind of concern me with the way we cover stuff sometimes at the second level. Our guys, especially Queen, he can be manipulated some, whereby, sometimes we jump this shallow drag and then something deeper ends up being open. I feel like our safeties are playing very conservatively at times. I feel like our safeties are being like really cautious. And then in the fourth quarter against Miami, all of a sudden we gave up big plays. But to me, it seems like our safeties are really deep, just like these guys are here. Sometimes you got to be, right? Depending on the lead. Maybe we would have been better if we played deeper and more conservatively the entire fourth quarter. No, Cat, JPP, I don't think we'll be playing this week. No, I don't believe so. It's a good job by this ex receiver. Is that Aguilar? I like Aguilar, man. If that's him, whether it is him or not, I like him. He had a big touchdown in week 1, I think, against the Dolphins, right? This will be the last possession that I go over. I know you guys don't come here to watch Patriots film. But we're seeing a lot of spread stuff here. 11 personnel. Left tackle got out of there early. Looked like it could have been a penalty. I mean, he has a little bit of escapability, don't get me wrong, but he doesn't look like a guy that we're not going to be able to run down like Highsmith does here. Left tackle looked good in pass pro there, but he got out early, I thought. Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's out of there, false starting, but maybe not. Guys were talking in our Discord about Jones wanting to throw the ball over the middle a lot. You certainly do see a lot of concepts that are give him options to throw the ball in the middle of the field. I'm not sure how much he wants to do that. As much as we drop Marcus Williams down, when I say that, I mean like as much as we line up, we'll line up with 2 safeties, and then Marcus Williams will drop down. And we're doing that. Let's be honest about the reason why we're doing that. We're doing that because our inside linebacker pass drops are not that great. When we're in a nickel situation, we take Bynes off, and we got Queen in there. Our inside linebacker drops are not that great. If it's an early down situation and Bynes is on, he's going to give you the fundamental leverage side reaction. Is he going to make a lot of plays against the pass? No, but there's been no inside linebacker that the Ravens have had in the past 4 or 5 years, except for Mosley, have as good a game against pass drops as Josh Bynes did against the Chargers last year. None. There hasn't been a single inside. I know Mosley had a pick 6 against the Browns his last year here or the year before. There's been no inside linebacker make consistent leverage side pass drops like Bynes did against the Chargers. What I'm talking about, though, is our nickel situation when we take Bynes off the field and Queen is on. We're dropping one safety down a lot to basically account for that deficiency in our coverage. Hopefully that makes sense. It's possible, Desmond, that Hamilton doesn't play as much. I feel like we're using Hamilton as the free safety more, and like I said, dropping Marcus Williams down. Yeah, Jones, I agree with that. These guys, they're big receivers. They're not small. I mean, these guys are big targets. 11 personnel spread stuff, so twin slot. Yeah, I mean, starting off 2-1 with Buffalo coming to town in week 4 is manageable, no matter what happens with Buffalo. I mean, but we're the Ravens. Like, we shouldn't be scared of anybody. Seems like Devin Bush is playing better, man. Just from the things I hear people say, I haven't really had a chance to watch the film, but seems like he's playing better. I'm not sure why. I'm glad for him because he caught a lot of flack last year. Alfred, yeah, no, I think I know what you're talking about. Is dropping Hamilton down and play Williams deep. I agree. I think we should be doing that with both of them. But I definitely understand your reasoning. Here's a similar concept to what I drew up earlier. You have a late developing drag, and then one of these two I think is going to run, a little slice or in cut. They're both going to go. Okay, so it was number 1 on the in, 2 vertical, and then slot over here. So you can see what they're doing. He's either going to hit the under or he's going to hit the deep end. This is just basically a clear out route, just like we run, whereby essentially you wouldn't be throwing the ball to it. So a lot of stuff in the middle of the field, at least from what I'm seeing. Serious. Okay, you're talking about JPP. Yeah, I agree. I thought that's what I heard, was that he would not sign until Monday officially. This is an underrated guy. He's consistently underrated, if you ask me. And this is a big pickup for them, I think. Miles Jack from Jacksonville. I think he's a big pickup for the Steelers. Spillane is underrated. Look, he lets the vertical pass, waits for the ball to be thrown, and then breaks on it. Good tackler. Jones, that's a great point. Let me know what you guys think. Absolutely, Cat. Miles Jack is still young. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good way to look about it. He will be exactly what the Ravens were looking for. I mean, pretty good coverage. Just not reacting to the ball as quickly and with as much elevation as Aguilar is. Might have one more possession here. Should be done here, to be honest with you. Not sure what you guys think, man. Wrong graphic, sorry. I'm not sure what you guys think. If I had to do predictions, which I don't really like to do, I would say best case scenario us is 27-13. Defense plays very well, and we're able to get some big plays and get four scores. Maybe 3 touchdowns, a field goal, so maybe 24-13, 27-13, something like that. Worst case scenario would be some kind of random thing happens, 17-16, 21-20. We lose. I don't see us getting in the shootout this week. You guys can let me know what you think. There could be situations where their coaches have looked at things on film and said, hey, we can take advantage of them here. And then they take advantage of us because maybe we don't adjust very well. I think that's possible. I don't think that's likely. Realistic would be somewhere in that, even my best case scenario would be somewhere in there. It'd be somewhere maybe 21-13, 21-10, 24-10, something like that. It doesn't seem to me like we're a team that's going to hit a bunch of singles and doubles and move the football. Even though, we did have an 18-play drive against Miami. I think there was a penalty for a first down in there, and I think there was a penalty down inside the 5. Baltimore, Don C, what's up, man? Yeah, I think that there wouldn't be anything wrong with trying that at all. Serious 24/7. Yeah, I mean that's around the same range as what I'm discussing. I think if our defense plays well and we don't put the guys in difficult situations, then we'll be able to, hold this Patriots offense down. It's not like they don't have the speed that Waddle and Hill do. To me, it feels like the weakness of our team defensively is that fast. Those fast receivers like Hill and Waddle. I don't think that they necessarily have the same personnel. Not saying they're going to make, not going to make any plays. Just don't think that they have the same type personnel, to do the things that the Dolphins did. So realistic, 24-10, something like that. Yep, we're going to make plays. We're going to hit home runs. That seems to be our MO here, is that we're going to hit home runs. If we play good defense and don't give up big plays, the formula is there because we're going to threaten you with the playmakers, the speed, Duvernay, Bateman, Lamar. Gary, I love it. Elliott, I mean, I can't argue with you. 17-16, it's going to be in New England. Looks like Duve is good. Looks like Duve is good to go, Simi. Looks like Duve is good to go. I think he was a full participant Thursday, I believe, or maybe Friday. Maybe it was Friday. Anyway, appreciate you guys joining the stream. Please like the video. When once I post it up here in a moment, consider joining my Patreon or my Discord. And I think we got 66 people in there right now. It's a fun time. It's a secure environment. People are able to talk Ravens football like we have here, and not worry about trolls and dumb stuff coming up, like Twitter or other social media forums. And it's you can install it on your phone. People talk about the Ravens all day. So Easy, I'm aware of that. I'm absolutely aware of that, Easy. Thank you for pointing that out, though. So appreciate you guys' time. Hopefully you have a good Saturday morning. Watch some college football. I will have a video out later today on how the Patriots took advantage of our man coverage 2 years ago up in New England. And basically my point will be, I hope we're not walking in there just saying we're going to play man-to-man because we have better guys defensively than they do. Because number one, Humphrey and Stevens were dealing with injury last week. Peters is still not, 100%, apparently, it looks like. Number two. And then number three, the Patriots. The Patriots have shown us that if we play a lot of man-to-man, they're going to take advantage of Patrick Queen. And that's what they did in 2020. So appreciate you guys' time. Please like the video once I post it up here in a moment. Hopefully you guys have a good day. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Thank you.